Right, people can just jump in, can't they, when they get here? Appreciate you're all busy. Okay. Oh, got a few more coming in. Um, okay, so as always, need to start with some learning objectives, but I'll introduce myself first. Hopefully you can see me, not just my screen. So I'm Rianne. I run a business called Type on Data. I'm all about things, process improvement, and improving the way that people do things, whether that's with software, process improvement, automation, training, upskilling, like endless things that can be done to improve the way the organization runs. My hero origin, I'm going to call it, is I was burnt out. I was, on hindsight, looking back, doing things quite inefficiently, very reactive. And I wish somebody could come along and have seen, a better way to do things. So that's kind of what these webinars are about and what my organization is about. So I decided to start 2025 with, or I did one the end of 2024, but it's a series of webinars to improve the way that you do things. The first one was about Copilot and how I use Copilot to make my days a little bit less stressful. And then the same today, I'm going to go through how I use Microsoft to make my days a little less stressful. So we're going to go through time-saving features, so things that you might not be aware of that are available in Microsoft, any cost savings, so things you might actually be paying additional license fees for that actually are available within your Microsoft licenses, and then as well any collaboration ways that you can speak to each other across your teams, to your clients, to anybody like that, where you can get the message across and make sure everyone's on the same page. My cat has just arrived. Haven't seen her for the last 3 hours. Looks a bit tired, but she's looking like she wants to be on screen. So we'll see what happens there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through a series of platforms, and we're going to start with Outlook. So what I've done is I've removed everything out of my inbox as usual, so hopefully nothing will come in as we're chatting. So first things first, so with Outlook, I mean, I haven't seen my inbox look like this for a long time. We want quick wins, so we want ways to remove things quite quickly. So there's something called quick steps. So quick steps in Outlook are repeatable tasks that you do quite regularly. They can be found within your settings. So we're going to go to email, and we're going to go to quick steps. So I have 3 quick steps that I use. I have one employee at the moment. She's my project administrator, helps me with all things admin and just keeping my head on straight. And she also helps with my diary management. So one of the things that we do is I have a quick step to diarize, and it's really simple. It's puts a category on it, which basically says, Sam, can you add this to my diary? Chucks it in my archive, and away we go. So really, really simple, nothing overwhelming, just a quick, simple task that, right, there's an email coming that I need to schedule, and then off it goes for Sam to do. I have another one which is tasks. So this is just creates a task off the back of an email. So if I get something in that I know I need to action and I need to manage, it creates a task for me to come back and basically get it done. Another option, which is schedule with Copilot. So I have a Copilot license, which means that I can use all of the functionality within that. You may not have that. There is another option, which I will show you in a minute. And I will show you in a minute actually, but let's just have a look at the quick steps. So really simple, get a name. So your quick step can be anything. So if you look at the actions, it might give you a bit of a clue of what you might want to do. So you want to delete messages, mark them as read, set a retention policy. So it could be something that's quite secure and you basically need it to be deleted and gone within, a month or for any amount of time. Clear any categories. So if you've got things that have got categories on that are like to do, so there's there could be 3 steps on it where you need to do each of these 3 steps, and that's how you use your categories. You can clear them off because you've done them. Again, pretty quickly. Flag them so that marks them as read, makes them really obvious in your inbox. Pin them so that makes it, the prominent message within your inbox. Respond, ignore conversation. So opportunities are endless there. So say if you chose flag, it would flag it. I'm going to do this tomorrow. I'm going to do that tomorrow. And that's what that does. Quick step, easy, away you go. So I'm going to save that one. So let's just close that a second. We'll come back to that. So as I said to you before about I have Copilot. You have two options with Copilot. You've got, I don't know why that's inactive now. It's probably because I've done it about 15 times while I was practicing for this. Let's go for this. I'm thinking about the Dalai Lama trek, but don't tell anyone. So I arranged a meeting, which I'll probably open the screen. Nope. Okay. So this is basically a meeting invite and it's got the full chain of conversation within it and away you go. But if I use Copilot, schedule that, what it's done is it's summarized exactly, given me an agenda and summarized what the email's about. So there's your difference between Copilot and your standard way. So as you see, it's just got the email chain on. So before I go to that meeting, I'm going to have to reread the email, see what's going to happen, what do I need to do. But actually, when I do it with Copilot, it's just a quick and easy thing. So yeah, up to you. I love Copilot. My other Copilot webinar, my other webinar Copilot is on YouTube. So if you weren't there, go and watch it. It's a great piece of equipment. So the next one is customize actions. So what do you use? Oh no, we're not going to go through that. Let's go through conditional formatting. Let's discard that. So, oh, sorry, your quick steps I've just made it here. So I would click on that, and then I would say to Sam, diarize. And then it would mark it to category and move it off into the, let's just do it so you can see. So did you see that quick? Added it and now it's gone. So I don't have to worry about that now. So quick steps, just a quick and easy done. Whereas, okay, it would have been 3 clicks to get there, but actually that was just so much easier. I know I've categorized it right. I know that that's what's going to happen. Okay, sorry, conditional formatting. So I don't know if you'd seen, so in my email from Sam is the subject has got color. So that's what conditional formatting is. So what I've got in my conditional formatting, which is within settings, email, conditional formatting, I have a series of colors for my the emails that come in. So I know what I need to look at, what kind of urgency is. So for example, if I get a purple one coming from my customers, I know that is something that I need to react to very quickly. Opportunities, yes, react to quickly, but the customers obviously always come first. I have 3. I recommend don't really use more than 3 because you're just going to end up with an inbox full of color that you're not really going to know what it means. If you use 3, it's kind of like a high, medium and low priority, isn't it? So not that that's what they are, but when you're busy, that's kind of a good way to think about it. Really simple. So I will show you a rule. So the condition, let's go for events. Let's have events. So let's have from. So who do I get events from? Let's go for Helen from the chamber because we love the chamber. And any other events that you may go to, you could do that. Select your color, whatever's relevant to them, and that's it. Simple. So then it will actually mark the subject line of your email in the color that you've chosen. I'm not going to save that because I've got 3. I don't want any more than 3. So that's that one. The other thing is schedule send. So we're all super busy. We often send emails out of hours, which isn't the best thing for everyone. So not just for you, but for the people who are receiving the emails. So I've seen before people have got on their signatures to say, just because I'm working at this time, don't feel like pressure that you have to reply, which was brilliant. But a better way is just send it at a more appropriate time. So you have options within your email. You have a schedule send, and it will tell you the next time. I mean, who wants an email at 8 o'clock on Sunday morning? I mean, nobody. So let's change that to say Monday. We're going to send that Monday. That I know they work from 8:30 to 4:30, so I'm going to schedule that send for then. So you can do that by sending them at more appropriate times. You can do other things as well, like you need to chase someone for a document that you need by the 28th. Maybe not a document. Let's go for you meeting someone on the 28th. You're going to send them an email on the 27th just to say, just checking you're available. You're still available tomorrow. Looking forward to it. I'll see you at your offices. You can schedule send ahead in the future to send that email. So whilst you're doing your admin, you could do all those chase emails just to make sure that I guess the day before you're not rushing, oh, I didn't confirm whether we're still doing that. So yeah, so it gives you that option. So yeah, that's schedule send. Again, it's not just about your workload, other people's. So if you're like me and your emails go off out of hours, you want to action them and you think about them. But if you're scheduling them to more relevant times, even if emails are sent at night are your go-to and people are used to that, then that's fine. But if you can change it, then you can. You've got other options. I don't know if you've noticed that Microsoft have added like emojis now. So when you send an email, people can respond with an emoji. So like it, laughing face, which I quite like because it takes the pressure off having to, hi there, thank you for your email. I really appreciate this, etc., etc. So you can disallow the reactions though if you don't want that, which is a great thing. About importance. What else have we got on my list? Oh, so the other one is immersive reader. Let's just get rid of that. Immersive reader. So let's go into this one. So immersive reader is a additional thing from Microsoft, which they're making things more accessible, is probably the best way to explain it, to everyone. I think we all have additional ways of working, additional needs, things that we need to make things easier. I can't reach your nose today. So one of the best things is we've got colors. So we can change the background in the immersive reader to make things easier to see. So if you're somebody who needs that, that is the option within the immersive reader, changing the font. You've also got, text size options. And then you've also got the in addition, let me change it back to white because it just makes you see it a bit more, that you can start highlighting words as you're reading. Again, it might make you read quicker. It might be something that of somebody who would benefit from this. So knowing it's available, brilliant. Then there's the way of reading things, again, making it easier. You can change the colours as well for whatever suits you. Another option is line focus. So you may be somebody who needs to be focused exactly on what is being said, or you need, a full paragraph, etc., etc. Translate the language as well, which is really good. The other option you've got is to play it. So you may be somebody who listens to your emails. Yeah, listens to your emails. So you can just press play.
Hi, Rianne.
You can also change who's talking, which is brilliant. So you can go from there. I did this before.
Hi, Rianne. Sarah has passed.
So you can also, if you're also a bit like me, when it's a bit slow, you like it a bit faster. So you can make the voice speed go a little bit quicker.
Pass your details over to me regarding the India.
So yeah, so that's the immersive reader. Again, accessible. Might not be for you, but maybe for somebody that you know of, making things a little bit easier. So that's the immersive reader. The other one that I really like is it's a scheduling poll. So this is probably something that I need for my friends more than I need for work. I keep doing that. Scheduling poll. So if you've got multiple stakeholders, multiple people that you want to organize a meeting for, so you have maybe a client, you have a customer, a partner, a potential I don't know, interviewee could be an example. You don't know what availability everybody has. So instead of having those emails, well, I'm free this day, I'm free that day, I'm free this day, you can have a poll. So we all love a poll. WhatsApp's got them now as well. We need to add attendees. Let's add Sam. Let's add Sam. So now I've got options. So I want to do 11 a.m. I want to do 2 and maybe 4. So these are the options I'm going to put ahead. I could change the date, I can change the duration. Again, if you don't have access to people's diaries, this is a brilliant way to go forwards, because you just have like don't know rather than unavailable. So you go next, create the poll. It'll then add it into the email. So you'll send this to everybody, all the attendees there, and they will vote. And then it's so much easier than the back and forth. Well, I can't do that date. I can't do the other date. So yeah, poll. We like a poll. Right, next one is, this is a real whistle-stop tour, by the way, as usual, because there is a lot to go through. Bookings. So if you're like me, which I do because this is a brand new feature, I think. I've never seen it. It's called Bookings, and it's basically Calendly, and it allows you to create multiple different meeting types. It allows you to create a booking page, and it's all included in in my license fee, Business Premium. And this can be used for anything. So you may have a team, so you could create a series of bookings, for example, one-to-one, appraisal, return to work. That allows then your staff to actually go in and book their own, by kind of being in control of what happens, rather than it being down to you to actually schedule these things. So you can create your own. You can have a booking page as well for that. So say if you have a project on the go, you can create a booking page for that project and share it to, again, stakeholders, clients, referral partners. You can also create the meetings that are very specific. So you can say, okay, I'm going to create a 90-minute meeting with which allows for driving time either side. So travel time is super important. So yeah, that's bookings. Again, it could save you a bit of money there. So if you do have a Calendly subscription like I do, I've paid for the year, so that comes up in June, so I'll definitely be using this from then on. And yeah, it syncs with your diary. It's within the Microsoft workspace. Yeah, absolutely brilliant. Okay, so that is Outlook. Okay, I will come back to Outlook because there are other things to talk about, but at the minute we're going to move over to Word. So let's move Outlook and let's go to Word. So one of the services I offer is an audit. So the audit is it's like an on-site interview for everybody in your organization. It is a deep dive into software, into people, into processes, into pretty much everything that you do, and you get an output report from it. So I've created a template. So I'm big on templates, and I'm big on not having to repeat the things that I do. So I've got sections in it that I update, and then I have sections that I fill in. In here, I've got different comments, suggestions of things to write, just in case somebody else is writing it up for me, or if there was, maybe somebody new doing it. So that's like a really important thing. So I have a template for that. That ensures that the output is exactly the same for everybody. And I don't know, I quite like that it's professional and it's a standard document that everybody gets. So I quite like that. So saves me from having to recreate it every time. The other one is a general document template. So I have brand guidelines, as I'm sure every one of you do. So I have fonts, I have colors, I have heading styles, I have a table style, I have the way things are going to look. So I have a template document that has all that, including all my legal bits at the bottom. So I literally, within my world, I have brand guidelines. If I open that, it will open document 3. So let's go. There you go. Oh, document 4, sorry, I must have done it again. So yeah, it's exactly the same, but it's a brand new document. So if I fill all this in and I save it, it's not going to overwrite my template. You've just got to remember that if you want to edit your template, you have to edit it as a template rather than the document. Again, Word is a bigger beast and it's probably a bigger training session for that, but this is something that I do. I use my brand guidelines to make sure that all my documents are standard. Another thing with Word is there's an option. So there is an option to dictate. So whilst you have your document open, you can actually dictate and it will write the words for you, full stop. New line. It takes a little while to get used to. You have to slow your voice and you have to be mindful that it's not going to be perfect every time. Full stop. New line. So I love that. So that is something. So say for example, I'll show you my OneNote in a minute and then you'll understand why I'm narrating things. So I make a lot of notes. I'll come home, come back to the office, and I'll write up the things that have gone on in the day. This is brilliant for me because I can just sit here and talk about the day. So one of the biggest issues they were coming across, and it helps me to as you can see, I'm clicking my pen, I'm using my hands. That it kind of helps me focus and remember what happened during the session, whilst it's writing my notes out for me. So really useful for me, saves me a lot of time. The other option on the dictate side of things, you've got transcribe. So if you have a recording of your session, you may be somebody who records things. It could be a Teams meeting. It could be a Zoom meeting that's been recorded and you want to upload the audio. You can do that and it can transcribe for you, or it can, again, just start recording and then transcribe in the background. You have a set amount of time that you can do. So hence I just tend to do it on the fly. Because I like to talk a lot. So that is transcribe. The other part of Word, which you might not know about, is they have an editable PDF function now. So this is something you may be paying an Adobe Acrobat license for. You can do that within Word now. So I'm a big advocate to making sure of all of your systems integrate. So everything within Microsoft does. So by using the PDF editor, kind of makes things a little bit easier. And again, cost savings, which we like. So that's Word. Again, there's so many other things that you can go through. There's lots of other options from how it can, what does your document look like? It can review your spelling. Is it concise? It can give you a lot more than you realize. But again, probably one for another session. So that's Word. Oh, I'm smashing through them now. So the next one is OneNote. So OneNote is my absolute favorite. So OneNote is it's a notebook. So that's probably, for want of a better word, a notebook. So you can write on it, you can doodle on it, you can type on it, you can do whatever you want. So I have a tablet, so it's on a stand at the minute. Let me see if I can get it in. It's on a stand because I use my tablet in all my sessions. I have a notebook for every one of my customers. They have their own. And I make all my notes in there, and it's on my phone, it's on my tablet, it's on my laptop. It's on my other laptop. It's accessible because it's within the Microsoft space. So I'm not out and about and I've got an extra, half an hour to do something. I've got access to my notes. I've got availability to go and have a look at things. So I love OneNote. I use a Samsung S6. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant for what I use it for, just purely for note taking. It's about £190, I think, on Amazon at the moment. That's for like the lower storage model, but I use OneDrive, so all my documents are saved there. So don't really need the storage on the actual machine. Why do I like it? Because it's the S range, which means it comes with the S Pen. If you look on anywhere for a Samsung tablet, you may see an A range, but the A range you can't use the pen. So yes, it's like £100, super cheap, but you can't use the pen. So, and that's exactly what I use it for. So I've got the S range, but the S6. I'm looking to upgrade into the S9 or the S10 so that I can do more diagrams, the process diagrams and stuff in it, as well as the notes. But the S6 is absolutely fantastic for what I use it for. What was I going to say about that? Oh, and I have bought, you know, on your phones, you may get a screen protector. Well, I've bought a screen protector for my tablet, which is called a paper screen, which is, it makes it feel like you're writing on paper as you're making notes. So if you're a bit like me, you like the, you know, the feel of paper when you're writing, absolutely fantastic. Lots of different options within OneNote. So you've got different pens that you can use, you've got different fonts, different everything. So here's one of, this is one I was looking at the other day. So this high flying one. So this was this is a conference I go to every year called SQL Bits, and it's everything about data and governance and protecting everything in your workspace. And this one, high flying in IT, was all about burnout, and because that's quite an important thing for me, it was about managing just managing your day to day. So one of the examples that he came with just absolutely blew me away. So he, on a Sunday, they had like this massive server outage, which, it was a massive company, really customer reputation was at stake. You know, there was a lot of money being lost. There was so much there, and people were actually, you know, the phone was ringing. There was so many things going on, and he was flapping. He was like, what do I do? What do I do? And that's where this first bit comes in. How can we control the information that we receive? So, for example, if you're a giant software company with servers, with customers, why do you not have a process that if they go down, what you have to do? So this guy should have been sat there going, right, this is a red status. I need to email the CEO. I need to email the head of IT. I need to email all these people. Then I need to send an email to this person. I need to get in touch with these people to get the new cert. So what I'm trying to get at is, he just should have had a process to follow. It shouldn't have been the panic, the anxiety, the stress, the, oh my God, what are we going to do? Well, we know what we're going to do because we have processes in for these things. So what I'm trying to get at is looking around your organization. How many times are you being reactive? You know, how many things are happening that you're a bit like, wow, I should have had something in for that. I should have put in a process to make sure that, you know, that's going to happen. And then it kind of went on. So, do you have the right things to get you there? Do you have clear guidelines? Do you have escalation points? I like a run book. So, a run book is a step by step. So, I've emailed the MD, I've rang this person, I've done that. And you're checking off these exact things. So, instead of being, what do I do now? What have I done? What have I done? Where do I go to? The run book is the thing that you run through when you're in certain, you know, situations, or even, you know, you're creating a product. What is your run book? What documentation do you have? It kind of just, so this was me. I'm making notes, I'm underlining, I'm really involved making notes during this session. What are the pain points? Do a situational review, all these different things. And then it kind of came to the bottom of you know, self-care is key. If there's leadership problems, there's too much to do, there's no time to do it, you need to stop as an organization and have a look, review what you're doing. Why are you losing staff? Why are people off sick? Why are people stressed out? Just stop and take a minute, because it's not that expensive. I think a lot of organizations, they go, oh, we better not, you know, if we stop now, this is going to cost us £20,000 an hour, and we can't do that. But actually, if half your staff leave or go off sick, you've got those costs to think about. So, and then this is just me. So move, eat and sleep. So these are like the things you just keep doing, keep talking, connecting with people, and just, you know, telling people where the problems are. Love that session. And honestly, this was, I don't even think this was last year. I think this was the year before. But yeah, and so I just thought I'd share a little thing with you and how I use it in OneNote. Anyway, back to OneNote. So the other things you can do in OneNote are, you can have templates. So you know me, I love a template. So you have a list of templates available within OneNote. So you have planners, so you can have like, they're really dated though, so apologies that they look like they're from the 80s, but you get the gist of what you can actually do with them. So you have business ones, you have a project overview, you have simple meeting notes, there's all these different things that you can do, or you can make your own. So you can, so I made one while I was preparing for this, and it was just like a simple SWOT analysis. So I chucked a table in, I made a to-do list, but this could be something that you do daily. So you could, you may have a pad on your desk where you have your task list to go through. You may like to regroup at the end of the day to see where you got to. So you could create templates to do that. Yeah, and just make things a lot simpler for yourself because it's a repetitive task. And then if you've got a tablet as well, you can do it on your phone, so it doesn't have to need a tablet. And you can even type on it on your computer, so you don't even need your phone. So that's templates. Again, you can transcribe, you can add quick like date time stamps in, you can add spreadsheets in. One of the things I like is when I'm in a session, I'll take a picture and I'll put the picture into the into OneNote and I'll annotate it. So one of the things I've got at the minute is I've got this PDF. So this is it's quite an old book, but I quite like some of the strategies in it. So I work through the book and try and, it's like a self-learn thing. I make notes on it and I go through. So that's another thing you can do within OneNote. You can also prepare yourself for meetings. So you can, if you go into, go back into Outlook and into your diary. So, well, this was the meeting I just did before, send to OneNote. And I did this before, so I've got like about a million of them in there and I put them in here for some reason. So I put the Microsoft for Busy People in here. And this again is another way where you could have your meeting information and you could start making notes around that. So again, going into meetings prepared rather than, on the fly. What we're doing. You've got your calendar invites, you've got everything that you need in there. And that's OneNote. Excuse me. I think so. Yeah, again, lots of different pens you can use, different shapes you can put in. You can have a full page view, so which makes it look like if you've got a tablet or whatever, or a Surface book that you can type on. So that's that. You have a history of things that have gone on with it. You've got help with your spelling. You've got also you can link them together. So if they've got information in common, you can link them. You've also got where is it? It's like it's not there. Here we go. Ink to math and ink to text. So this is what I was doing with this. Are you sure? I wrote that and then I converted it into text. So that's another thing you can do. But as we can see, that my handwriting is not always the best. I miss letters and things, but it tries its best. So again, something that you'll get used to using. But I really like OneNote. I did use Google Notes, Google Keep Notes, because that was really accessible on my phone. But I couldn't draw in it, so I couldn't write my notes at the time. I don't know if it does it now. So that's why I moved over to OneNote, and absolutely fantastic. So that's OneNote. So next one is Teams. We all like Teams, don't we? And none of us use it in the way that it can be used because it's just an absolute minefield, isn't it? So bear with, okay. Right, so Teams is, oh God, it really picked up, didn't it, during COVID when we were all at home and it was a way for us all to interact with each other. But it's more than that. It's a central location for collaboration, for teams, for talking, for keeping projects going, for keeping accountable. Like, it is such a powerful tool. One of the things I really like is Planner. So I use Planner for literally everything in my day-to-day. So these are the things I've got in there at the minute. I've got some deadlines that have passed, but hey ho, we'll be fine. So I have different buckets. So I have mine also broken down into quarters, and that keeps me accountable for what's the word? just the things that are going on in the next year. So super simple. We're gonna put a task in for arrange a meeting. That was the one I just deleted. So arrange a meeting with Joe Blogs. And then, do you know what? Just add it in. Add task, done. But then I can also do other things. So I can go into it. I can assign it. So I can assign it to myself or people in my team. I can add a label. So these can all be renamed into being whatever you need them to be, part of your organization. And it's so if I just put pink on it, for example, and I close that, you can see that's the label. But if I change that to something like, internals or project, I don't know, go or whatever, it's just a nice, easy way to see it. I can change the bucket it goes into. I can put the progress on it, whether I started it, whether it's completed, priority, start date and due date. You don't have to put anything in. You can just have it as just do that. But actually the start and end date leads into something into the schedule, which I'll show you in a minute. Notes are adding everything in about the, let's have a drink, sorry. Everything in about the task. You've also got the option to add a checklist. So say if this was an employee onboarding, so you've got no onboarding process and you just need to keep, I need a driving license, I need your passport, so you can start adding things in. So need a passport, need a driving license, need council tax. This is like for a smaller organization that has things that they do they need to keep accountable for. And you can actually in the comments, so you can write comments, so you can say received, driving license, approved, and then click send. Add into the comments at the bottom dates and timestamps. So that's stuck there now, that can't be changed, and I can complete that off as completed. The other option is I can upgrade a individual checklist item to a new task. So that's really important. So if you have like a really big project and you've got that one task outstanding that you just can't close it for, you can upgrade it to its own task and then it closes off the bulk and all the confusion. You can add attachments. You can assign to different people labels, I've said. And again, this is available on your phone and available on your tablet. So it's available everywhere and it can be used for lots of different things. So in the view, where is this down there? There we go. You've got the schedule where you can see, what's coming up in the next month. These are the things that you've got in your diary. These are the tasks you need to do. You've got charts. So that shows how many tasks have been completed, what type of status they were, what buckets they were in. You can break that down into, who's done what. So that's also important. You can have it in a list. So if you're a list person, you can have a list. If you can also create boards for specific things. So this is one I played with. This is sales pipeline. So this is what's the word? I was just playing with stuff. So there we go, plan. So you've got plan and portfolio. Portfolio is linked to Microsoft Project. I don't have a license for Microsoft Project because that is a beast within itself. So I don't have portfolio, but I do have plan. And then there's a list of plan templates available that you can use. So you can have simple plan, employee onboarding, which is an interesting one, a business plan. So that like takes you the steps through to get into your business plan. And then you can move things through your funnel and then your sales pipeline. So that's the one I've got. So the idea is that you'd add a lead in, then you'd so say, for example, Joe Blogs, I've rang him now. He's now a lead. He's from blogging.com. So he's from blogging.com. And he is now a lead now. And then now he said, yes, I'm gonna seriously think what you've got. Send me a proposal. Okay, I've sent you a proposal. Right, Joe Blogs is on board. Away you go, completed. You can get a ding. So if you're not big enough, so like for me, I've got maybe 5 to 10 opportunities on the go at one time. I don't have a high number. This is great for me because I can just see where my customers, well, my potential customers are, and then push them through. Again, you're not paying for additional software, and it is just keeping you on track, really. You can create your own pipeline your own board. As I said, like I've done just general tasks with my quarters, or you can use any of the boards that are available. So that's the planner, that's the tasks. You can also integrate them. So if I go on my general channel, I've got my tasks and actions within my channel. So this can also have, I've done some surveys. There's like loads of things you can do with Teams. You can add lists, you can add diagrams, there's so many things you can do, which again is a session within itself. You can create your own surveys, etc., and you can make them up there. So you can have a project on the go with the tasks and actions, and you can have sort of like a feed on the go where you can actually talk to the people on the project. That's why I really like the planner side of things. What else with Teams? Probably more of a session. So let's go over to Loop. So Loop is a new thing. So I'm very new with Loop. So Loop is a collaboration tool. So you can, how to describe it? So I don't know if you feel like you've got documents everywhere and emails here and messages and all these different things, and you're running a project and you want all of the information to be in one place, keeping everybody in the loop. So Loop is that way to keep everybody aware of what's going on. So you'd create a loop, so you'd create a project, and then you'd start including all of these different things in. So if we go back to Outlook, and I'll just create an email, pull it over wherever you are. Okay, so create an email. You can add in loop components. So there we go, loop components. So within there, you've got a team retrospective, Kanban, voting table, Q&A, task list, and bulleted list. So say we put in a bulleted list, it basically just adds it in, and then you can sync it to what component or what project you've got on the go. So it's all these little, so instead of these emails back and forth, which there still can be, this can actually be compiled into your project. So it keeps everything contained in one, basically. So that's all I'm going to do about Loop, because again, it's really new to me. It's something I'm just playing with, but definitely worth going and having a look at different like videos and training and things. So I would definitely do that. So that's Loop. Next on the board is Excel, because we all love Excel, don't we? There's a few accountants on here, so I think you might like this one. So if you're doing repetitive tasks, so if you're doing things that are what's the word, are quite mundane. So say for example, I've just got this bank statement in. This bank statement is off the just off the internet, it's not mine. Be nice if it was, because there's like hundreds of thousands in there. But if you do things to your spreadsheets when you get them, or any data that you can repeat, so say for example, these aren't in decimals, I don't like the date, there's problems with it. So why does this keep coming? The Zoom thing keeps coming down. It's my first time using Zoom, by the way. So what I can do is I can automate what I do to this spreadsheet when it comes in. So what I'm going to do, as you can see, I've already done this a few times. I'm going to record what I do. So it's now recording. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to format my date. I'm going to come in and I'm going to make that a long date. I'm going to change deposits, withdrawals, and balance into currency. And I'm also going to add a quick calculation. I don't even know what the calculation is going to be. Let's go for deposits minus withdrawals. And then I'm going to fill that down. Done. So I'm going to stop that. So then let's just even though you're saving it now. Let's delete that. Let's change that back to general. Let's change that back to short date. Okay, so you've got your script. I'm going to save it as I've just done. Bank format. I'm going to call it number 2. Obviously, call it something a bit more meaningful. Just for what you're going to use it for. Save to them on OneDrive, so it's not a local thing. So anybody can go in and look at this. This can form part of your training. And literally, they're the steps it's going to do. I'm just going to click run. So if you look at it, short date, numbers, click run. Done. So the only problem is going to dollars. Didn't do that before. Anyway, you get the gist. So you're automating things that you do repetitively. So that is just by recording those functions. These can be quite small as well. So say, for example, you do a full end-to-end process, which takes you 2 hours. You don't have to go through and record every single thing that you do. You can go, right, the first thing is a formatting. So I'm going to create a format automation. The next thing we're going to do is create totals. So I'm going to create a totals automation. So by breaking it down, you can play each one, make sure they're all working, or even at the end, create an additional automation to play all those automations. So then if your trainer never changes, you're just individually changing. So yeah, big win for that one. There is another button, which is very fancy and very complex and very beautiful, and it's within the Power world. So Microsoft have created this new, it's called the Power Platform, and it's a powerful tool of apps, automations, flows, everything you can think of. And basically it can do just magic for you, but it does need a bit more of a technical brain and potentially another 55 sessions on it. So we're not going into that, which I can see how grateful you are. The other thing we've got, so I've done some conditional formatting as well. So that was another thing. So it's literally options available, changing the styles of cells, making it show up if it's a if it's greater than this, show it up as red. If it's equal to 2 million, it's a risk. So you can use conditional formatting to highlight like in a view to see if there are any problems and stuff. The other thing I like, as you know, is a template. So if this was me and I was getting a bank transaction in from, and it was the same bank. So say HSBC had other banks are available, a certain format in their statement, and it's PDF, and you go in and you copy and paste the text out of the document and you put it in there and you format it. Well, you could create a template. So what I would do is I would create a template, like a master sheet here with all my calculations in. So where I sum everything, where I look at debits, I look at different categories, I can learn what it is I'm looking for. And then once I've copied the statements from HSBC, it's a matter of just pasting it in and then obviously formatting it if I needed to. And then all the calculations would be running on the master sheet. So instead of having to use an additional, going through new spreadsheets every single time, you can create master spreadsheets, and they're your template spreadsheets, and you can do it in the same way as Word. So when you save it, it will not overwrite the original, so there's no risk of having old data in there. So it's a brand new template with all the calculations in it, and then you can you just paste in your data in, and then when you save it, it's asking you where you want to save it to, rather than overwriting and saving it in other people's folders, etc., etc. So templates in Excel are also really, really powerful. Last one. Oh, just one more. Analyze data. So in here, there is a button to analyze the data in the sheet, and it's a really quick way to insert things in. You don't have to have Copilot for this. You can just use the analyze option. I don't know if I've mentioned this, but they're looking to integrate Copilot into the Microsoft licensing, so it won't be an additional fee in the future, but it is at the minute. So you still got the use of analyze data, and it's super quick. Insert this, insert that. You can ask questions like, how much have I spent on RTGS? and it'll come back and it'll give you a little table. You can insert the table. So yeah, quick wins, don't have to do everything from scratch. And what's the calculation for this? You can ask it questions and it'll do it for you. So the last one is focus. So focus is super, super important for me. And I think it will be for a few other people. I know we're all busy and we all get overwhelmed. Emails come in and there's lots of things happening, but you do need that focus time. So all I did was I searched for focus settings in my system settings, and this is what it brought up. So I can, oh no, I didn't actually. I'm completely lying to you. It opened this one, but I like the other one that's just opened. Very strange. So a couple of options. You can integrate Spotify. So Spotify is a music app. Others are available, where you can have your focus music on, maybe some meditation or chill or focus metal, I don't know, whatever you like, playing during your focus session. In that focus session, it mutes all of your noises, your emails, your calls, everything gets muted, and you can set what it's going to be. So my daily goal is this. And these are the tasks. These are the tasks that I'm going to do within my, oh, it's not letting me click things. These are the tasks I'm going to do within this session. And you literally click play, make it into a little window, and it'll run there. And I'm going to get focused on all the tasks that I've got to do. And that's my hour of peace. So that's the focus side of things. So quick whistle stop tour of everything. So we've been through Outlook and making things. Oh, there is one more. I knew that would be that, didn't I know? Go back to Outlook, go back to email. No, don't. Go back to calendar, go to events and invitations, and do yourself a favor and mark all of your meetings to be 5 minutes if they're less than an hour shorter, and 10 minutes less than if it's 10 minutes shorter if they're an hour or more. So basically it means that while you're booking all these meetings in your diary and you're doing hour after hour after hour, you're not getting a break. But if you set your default settings to actually have 50-minute meetings or 25-minute meetings, you're just giving yourself that little bit of breathing space before you go into your next meeting. And that is something I recommend on an organizational level. Everybody should do, is giving you that 10 minutes just to stand up, stretch your legs, deep breath before you go into the next thing, and prepare rather than, reacting to every single thing that's going on. Meetings should not be an hour anymore. They should be 50 minutes because you all should get that 10-minute break. So that's it. So we've been through Outlook, we've been through OneNote, we've been through Teams, we've been through focusing, we've been through Word, we've been through Excel, and I'm hoping you've got something out of that. Let me stop sharing so I can just see my mug. Are there any questions? Here we go. Got one in the chat. Let's have a look. On Teams, is there a way in settings that emails can be set as inactive? What do you mean by inactive? Like, I'm trying to think. Or maybe not important. You can create automations to do things with your email. So you could maybe mark them as like low. Oh, I get you. When you set up a task, it sends an email which gives more workflow. Well, the other thing you can do is back to that screen I was just in. Email. Where are you? There's an option where you can stop the noise. Can't remember where it is. It basically sends emails when events from email. No, events and invitations, 15-minute. Not sure. Sorry, there's a setting in Teams where you get loads of chats and loads of messages. You can default that to like only send me that once a day or once a week rather than multiple ones. Tasks, so I get them with tasks where like I've got tasks due today. But I think if you're managing your tasks a bit better, maybe schedule time in to, okay, now I'm going to schedule 20 minutes in to sort my tasks out. Yes, you can mark multiple clients with a category. You can have different categories as well. Is there a way to color code emails rather than having them all yellow when you flag them as to do? Yeah, so that's where I use my different categories. So instead of marking them as to do, I mark them in a category, and that's how I pick them up that way. Thanks, Gareth. Appreciate it. Any others? Do you set organizational tasks in Outlook and project tasks on a different platform? No, everything is within the Microsoft Planner. So I have projects in there. I encourage my clients to use it. So when I have a client who has teams, I tend to do stuff within their world. We create action plans and project boards there. I give access to them to go in and check where things are up to. Depends on how many milestones you've got for your projects, but it's more than capable to do within Planner, and I do use that for my clients as well. I missed any others? There's a way to color code emails I've done. Mark multiple clients with the category. Yes, you can. You can do all sorts with the categories there as well. So you can change the colors. As I was showing you with the conditional formatting, you can change the colors of what they look like and make that work for you. Glad you're going to use the planner. I absolutely love it. It's really good to keep us all, because I don't know if lots of organizations I go into, they all have Excel files and they're all individual Excel files, and there is no overarching view. Whereas if you use Planner, everybody's got access to it. You can have private ones, and it's only the people who've got access to the channel. But yeah, absolutely brilliant. In the Teams, when you use sales pipeline, can you generate a report? Yes, you can. That is within the Power world though. But if you have Copilot could train you to get an output that you want. So that's also worth looking at. So it's called Power BI, which is like the report inside, and you can create dashboards for things. So just gives you clarity on everything that's going on within the organization as well. So how long people are taking to respond to tasks, whether tasks are still open, who's not doing tasks, rather than doing them. So much you can do within the Power world. So it's definitely available. So yeah, I think I'm gonna give you 3 minutes back unless there's any other questions. No. So don't forget next month, I think it's 28th of Feb. It's creating a culture of continuous improvement in your organization. So yeah, come along. I will record this, and I have recorded this, sorry. And I didn't tell you at the beginning, apologies. If there are any, I will remove all your names from it, so it'll just be me talking. But if there are any questions, please email me. And if you want any follow-up or any help in your organizations, let me know. And thank you all for coming and spending some of your Friday with me. Yeah, enjoy, and I will see you all soon. Bye.